Right, so welcome back to Joy News Prime. It's now time to do Joy News Interactive. But before we do that, there's been quite a downpour out there in parts of the country. Here in Accra, it's been quite heavy. We're told that it's also raining quite heavily in Koforidua, where there are apparently some floods in some parts of the city. So just be mindful. We have some visuals coming through, some images coming through. This is from Koforidua. We're told that vehicles have been submerged. And all the pictures are very clear, but you can see the cars, the top of the cars, well in the background, and it's quite unsafe out there. So for everybody else, just be mindful as you drive about this evening. Right, so Aisha, let's get on with it.
Yeah, so you know how to join this conversation. It's on facebook.com/joynewsontv, and on Twitter it's on Joy News on TV. And you know it's the most interesting conversation ever around this time in Ghana. Well, the number of excavators that have been abandoned on Galamsey sites in the last 3 weeks has increased to 500. This gives a positive indication that the fight against the menace is yielding some results. Concerns, however, has been what happens to these excavators after being abandoned at the sites. Question, what do you think should be done with these excavators?
Oh, I think that the excavators should be taken from them, and then they should use it in other mining sectors, okay, for production. And then I think if after the law court and everything, whatever the rule says, they should go by it. And then those excavators too, they can also use it in construction of other things as well. So I think they should seize them and use it in the benefits of the country.
If the excavators will have other users, that would be helpful. They should be transferred to those areas to help. That's what I think. No, I don't think the state should destroy them, because for some of them was their source of livelihood. And so what could be done is find other channels, transfer their energies elsewhere to benefit the whole of the nation. So yes.
I think the state can keep them and then give it to the district assemblies. They will use it in their in road works and all those project works. Destroying them will not be the best. It will never be the best idea. It's money. So it's better we keep them and then use them. Sure. We have drainage systems we need to do during rainy season, so I think they can use them for that.
I think they should be sold for scraps, you see, because sold for scraps, revenue to the government, the country gets less poor than it is. The debt becomes less. That's what I think.
Yes. I think the government can use them in their own operations, and since the government is handling those things, it will be legal. So when they are using the excavators, it will work well for them. Or they could sell it to private distant people who are licensed to able to do the job well. They can be held responsible for their actions, unlike those who do it illegally.
Sure, I'm interested in the one who says it should be sold for scrap dealers.
Well, yeah,
can they even pay for it?
No, well, if you're selling it for scrap, it's supposed to be like cheap. A knockdown price, really cheap, and so that means that they. I'm
not sure he knows the prices.
But I'll go along with those. The gentleman who suggested that it's sent to the district assemblies, and district assemblies should use them.
Definitely.
I mean, I think it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
Even if eventually it's going to be given back to whoever. Actually owns it. It makes sense for the district assembly to in the meantime
make use of it.
Make use of it. Yeah, road construction, clearing
definitely. We need it. They can serve a lot of
purposes. Or building the dams in the districts.
You know, or the warehouses. Okay, let's check what you saying
on Facebook says those excavators should be confiscated by the state, and in a way to encourage local road contractors, we sell to them at a reduced price. After all, properties acquired from drugs are confiscated by the state when busted. Makante says they should be sold and the money put into government coffers to help execute other developmental projects that will help improve the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian. And Berima says they should simply be used to refill all those lands they destroyed and sold to add to the national coffers. We can have all our water bodies destroyed. We can't have all our water bodies destroyed for the benefit of a selfish few.
And Hadura Mystical Brahma says they should be sold and the proceeds from them sent to government or use it to develop the affected communities. Eko Stevenson says, I think that they should be rebranded for use by Zoomline, road contractors and other stakeholders at a negotiable price, which will benefit the miners too. Those are some few comments on Facebook. Also, the president on his visit to Achirinswa Senior High School in the Bono-Ahafo region yesterday said processes leading up to the creation of the Ahafo region will be completed in 18 months. Well, whether or not you believe in the new government's idea of creating new regions, it is very important for you, for your voice to be heard on this one. And the question I ask, what do you make of creating new regions?
Yes, I have the very good conviction that the creation of the region that's in the Bono-Ahafo is going to help develop the area. Because one, looking at the size of that particular area and then looking at resource distribution, decentralization has always been a key in ensuring efficiency in the utilization of resources. So I think if there's a further division of this region, resources could be concentrated and used for what they're actually meant to be used for. So I think creating a new region out of it is in a good direction.
That is a waste of time. If you have a region that is in place already, you know the needs of the people, the indigenes that are living there. So what you need to do is get the needs of the people there, put them in the budget, plan for them adequately, and do what is right to see the development of the people there.
No, I sincerely do not think so. I believe that if we manage the resources we have now, in the spaces we have now, we'll do a fantastic job. I think it's just a ploy to just increase more ministers of state and increase more regional blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a waste of time. Just use the resources you have in the places you have them, and let's move forward.
So mixed reactions on the streets. I'm sure it's also same on Facebook. Israel, let's check the messages out.
Kwesi Boateng says, I come from the Western region, and last week I had the opportunity to travel to Wasa Menfi. That is when I appreciated the creation of a new region. Same region, and in a private car, we had to drive for 4.5 hours before getting there. So imagine a teacher in that community who needs some services at the Regional Education Office in 2nd D. And then the Mate comes into reply, says, isn't it similar to being in the Ashanti region or Bono-Ahafo region, or better still the Northern region? It's about decentralization, not necessarily creating a new region. But hey, he's the president and he can do what he feels is best for the country. And then Kwesi Boateng comes to reply, tell me which two parts of Ashanti region that you have to travel to for 4 hours in between them.
All right, interesting messages. Audisha King Friction says, of course, that will add another minister to the already Ubulu government. Job for the old men, mouth, no. Okay. Well, that's a bit too harsh. Nana is not current. Hadura Mystical Brahma says, I think our leaders focus on the irrelevance too much. Creating new regions doesn't necessarily translate into development, but jobs for some political sympathizers at the point of creation. Judicious Udru Eric says it is very necessary. Taking Western region as example, everything is located at Takoradi, which is the regional capital, joined by Seshwi and its surrounding areas. Meanwhile, the people at Seshwi and its surrounding areas that do not necessarily benefit from developmental projects that they are supposed to get from the regional capital. So it's necessary. Berima from Jenny, he says it is pretty obvious our president is not serious about the mandate he has, and he writes more. But finally, it has become normal to hear names of new churches springing up every single day. Whether you belong to any of these churches or not, we cannot deny the fact that this upsurge has raised concerns about which of these churches are real and which of them are fake. Well, the president of the Northern Ghana Union of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is calling for a national discourse on the exploitation of the vulnerable in the name of religion. Let's take a listen.
I'm much worried about how people are using wealth, abusing themselves in the ministry because of wealth, because of sex, and because of power. We depend upon the word of God, knowing Jesus Christ. After all, we are proclaiming his gospel. So Christ must be internalized in the minister. Pastors can go to the extent of taking water from even mortuary for their congregation to grow. Is that the gospel? Paul says in Romans chapter 1 and verse 16 that he is not ashamed of the gospel. So the word of God is power. And people have done away with the word of God. They have jettisoned the word of God. Right now, the whole world is frustrated. I am sick. I need prosperous life. I want my job to grow very well. And I'm also financially handicapped. I'm poor. People have been complaining of all these things. And pastors, the so-called pastors, quack pastors, they heard some of these people. So in a way, they put system in place, said that they can lure you by telling you that I have vision concerning you.
That's quite interesting revelations, Israel. Well, I'm fascinated, but what do you suggest should be done to rid the system of fake pastors?
We should just stop attending their services, their church programs and everything. Because even in the Bible, it says in the last days, false prophecy and things will be happening. So we should make it known that it's like we are in the last days, so false prophecy is going on. So if we stop attending their church, in a way we have exposed them.
People in the Berean church, they were able to follow Paul, okay, by the word and know if he was in line with the word. So then if they follow them and they are not in line, they would surely leave.
It's only God who can determine who is a true pastor or a fake pastor. So it's left to God to determine who a fake pastor or a good pastor is. So from a parable that I know in the Bible, God is asking us to leave both the good and the bad to grow together, so that at the end of the day, He will take the good out of the bad. So I think it's left to God to decide on this.
If we are able to identify that this pastor is a fake pastor, then we just close down his ministry. That's the best thing, so that he wouldn't falsely lead people, lead people falsely, or preach the gospel which he knows that it's not the truth. He's leading more people to hell.
Let's go straight to Facebook and see what people are saying.
MBS Simon says, it is a call in the right direction. The activities of some of them in recent times is worrying, but chances are that it may spark civil religious disorder, especially in a highly polarized political religious climate such as ours. Senior Kwejo Sapon says, read? Really? Seriously? How? Let's get into the word of God and we'll come to the knowledge that this is a prophecy fulfilled. We can't read fake pastors out of the system. And by the way, who's a fake pastor? Can you identify one when you meet them? Ain't they preaching from the Bible? I believe we should pray for a discerning spirit to decipher the good and bad ones. We can't read them out. We ought to leave them on the day of reckoning. The Lord himself will read them out. Amen. Hallelujah.
Omar Nuhu says we can't avert such a prophecy, just as we can prevent Facebook malams from sending us friendly requests. Shift Mano says that I suggest we assemble them at the stadium so that they will preach one by one for us to listen. Really, the fake ones are indeed spoiling the priesthood. Makante Matthew says nothing can be done because Ghanaians believe in miracles too much, and these fake pastors are doers of miracles. And on that, fake pastors, no lecture.